Hello and welcome. My name is Jay and I am your StriveScan facilitator today. While you all are getting all logged in here, we just want to welcome you and say we have 6 great schools that are going to get us started and kicked off for this college fair. Welcome to the Capital Area School Development Association Virtual College Fair. We're super happy to have you. We've got 6 amazing schools. And again, my name is Jay and I am your facilitator for the evening. So I've got a couple of housekeeping items before we get on started with our presenters. You can use the Q&A button that you see at the bottom of your screen at any time. That's going to be the best way for you to ask any additional questions that you have for our presenters. Your camera and microphone are off, so don't worry. You can see and hear us, but we cannot see and hear you. Also, this is just one of many sessions. There are still sessions happening later this evening and sessions happening tomorrow in this same fair that you can register for. And this presentation is being recorded. So if you miss anything, you can definitely follow up with us within about 1 week at strivescan.com/CASDANY to get the recording for this. Now I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna bring up our first school of the day, which is SUNY New Paltz. Come on up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abigail. I am a freshman admission advisor at SUNY New Paltz. Not only do I have the pleasure to work for SUNY New Paltz, but I am also an alum. And something we are so proud about SUNY New Paltz is our location. We are located smack dab in the middle of the Hudson Valley. This gives our students so many wonderful opportunities, whether it be internship opportunities, academic opportunities, or just fun things to do in the area. We are about an hour and a half north of New York City, an hour and a half south of the Albany area, and about 20 minutes away from 3 larger cities, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, and Newburgh. We are also about 15 minutes away from the beautiful Shawangunk Mountains. So this gives our students so many options for just fun things to do, as well as to build up that resume and to go on some field trips during class time as well. We're also really proud of the fact that we have over 100 majors and 50 minors. So we have our School of Business, our School of Education, our School of Fine and Performing Arts, School of Science and Engineering, and College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And we really encourage our students to get a degree in what they're interested in. So kind of, maybe get that mixed match degree where you're majoring in math and minoring in theater arts, or really anything in between. So we are so happy that we have so many options for our students. We are a medium small school. We have about 6,600 undergraduate students, and our student to faculty ratio is 15:1. So you really get to know your professors. They get to know you. You can participate in research projects outside of the classroom, as well as inside of the classroom too. And creating those relationships with your professors is really great for if you wanted to study abroad and you need a letter of recommendation, or if you're trying to get into grad school after SUNY New Paltz and you need that letter of recommendation, or you need help trying to find a job in your field. Our professors are really there for our students in that way. I do want to talk about some admissions requirements as well. So for admission, we require either the common application or the SUNY application. We do not have a preference, so whichever one you feel most comfortable filling out is perfectly fine for us. When we're looking at your application, we'll also be looking at your high school transcript. We will be looking at the 5 main subject areas to see that you have taken 4 years of English, 4 years of social studies, 3 to 4 years of a science with a lab, 2 to 4 years of a language other than English, and 3 to 4 years of math. Please keep in mind that our strictest requirements are our science with a lab. We require 3 sciences with a lab component, as well as our math. We do require Algebra 2 trigonometry for admission to SUNY New Paltz. So if you are a junior and you haven't taken Algebra 2 trig yet, we do recommend speaking with your guidance counselor so that you can talk about maybe taking Algebra 2 in your senior year. The average of our accepted students have between a 90 to a 95 GPA. Of course, this is not a set number. We accept higher than a 90, but we also take a little bit lower than a 90 as well. And that number is based off of your recalculated GPA on those 5 main subject areas I mentioned earlier. After we're looking at your high school transcript, we will also be looking at your letters of recommendation. We require at least one letter of recommendation from a teacher or a guidance counselor, but we will accept up to 3 letters. So if you would like the other 2 letters to be from a coach or a supervisor, we will accept those gladly. After that, we will be reading your personal essay. Now, your personal essay is your time to shine. It's your time to show us who you are as a person, as a student, and tell your story. So we love reading those essays. You can write about anything you'd like. Just please make sure that those essays are proofread. We will be looking at spelling, grammar, and punctuation. I will put a link in the chat after my little presentation, just so you can kind of see those admissions requirements on our webpage. In addition to those things I mentioned earlier, we are a D3 school. We have over 200 clubs and organizations for our students to take part in, whether it's cooking club or Greek life or Relay for Life or men and women's rugby. We have a lot of options for our students. I also just kind of want to talk about some of the virtual events we have going on as well. So we have one-on-one appointments with our freshman admission advisors. So if you have any questions about applying, or any questions about SUNY New Paltz itself, a lot of our freshman admission advisors are alums, so they can answer any of your questions. But we also have our virtual tour. We are encouraging students to look at our virtual tour just to see and get an idea of the campus and our buildings. You get to see the inside of our buildings as well as the outside of our buildings. You can take the virtual tour at any time. And we really encourage that because right now students can come to our campus to take a self-guided tour. However, all of our buildings are locked to the public. You'll need to kind of get that experience of what it's like on the inside of those buildings. So we are encouraging that virtual tour as well. Like I said, I will be putting more information in the chat. So please check that out. And if you have any questions, I'll put my email in there as well. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abigail. We're going to move right along to our second presenter with Morrisville. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Dewan. I am a counselor out at SUNY Morrisville. We only have 6 minutes, so I'm going to hop right into it. So my job here at this presentation is just to convince you why Morrisville. So the first question with regards to our campus is going to be, where is SUNY Morrisville located? So we're actually right in Morrisville, New York. So we're going to be located about 30 miles from Syracuse and Utica. We actually have 2 campuses, which is something that a lot of people don't know. So our main Morrisville campus, and then there's a Norwich campus, which is in Norwich, New York, about 45 minutes from our main campus, which is for commuter and non-traditional students. We have just under 3,000 students on campus, right around 10% of which come from out of state. With that large student population, we are able to maintain also a smaller classroom ratio, which is about 15:1, due to our 55 degree programs that you get to choose from, which I will speak about on our next slide. So our academic programs, we do have agriculture, automotive, business. We have a ton of different programs to offer you here at Morrisville. And the difference between us and a lot of institutions is the type of degree programs we have to offer. So they're going to be more hands-on. So for example, within agriculture, we have an equine program where we have 200 horses that you would be able to work with right on campus. There's a few different options within our equine program. There's a rehabilitation option, which you get to swim our horses around a swimming pool that we have right on campus. There's an underwater treadmill that you get to use with horses as well to help them rebuild some strength. There's a breeding option, there's a racing option, and then there is a general management option as well. We have a criminal justice program, which is fantastic if you're looking to become a police officer or sheriff of some sort. And we also have a nursing program. So nursing is our most competitive degree program that we offer. It is a 2+2 degree. So your first 2 years, you'd be working on passing the RN. And then after you pass that, you come back for 2 more years to finish out your BSM. We do have roughly an 80% pass rate on the NCLEX. So if you have any further questions on nursing, feel free to shoot me a message. Much like Abby mentioned, the science programs are going to be a little bit more difficult. So we do look at specific reaching exam scores, GPA a little bit harder, and a personal essay in that regard. So the Morrisville model to student success, there's going to be 3 aspects, which is applied learning, expert faculty, and real world experience. So applied learning, what does that mean? So that means we're not really a university where you're going to sit in a classroom and listen to someone lecture at you for too long. We try to avoid that scenario. So what we want to do is get you on your feet, actually working with your hands, which is something we found is more beneficial to our students. So some of the examples you can see, our renewable energy students are putting solar panels up to help our campus be more energy efficient. You can see some of our horticulture students planting different types of crops, vegetables that are actually used within our culinary arts program as well. So I like to think of our campus as kind of an ecosystem, right? So our horticulture program gets to grow some of the vegetables we get to use right down at the Copper Turret, which is a restaurant in Morrisville that our culinary arts students get to work at and learn while they're in their degree program. We think of this more as a living classroom, and we also pride ourselves on students kind of really nailing down an internship before they graduate. 95% of our students complete some sort of internship before they leave us, and we like to think that gets them halfway in the door. At least maybe they can turn that into a job by graduation time. Expert faculty. So something unique about our faculty members coming from these distinct programs is that teaching isn't really what they went to school for. So they actually were professionals in these degree programs, and then this is kind of their second passion, their second career. So they have a wealth of knowledge that you get to pick from. And also with that in mind, they also still have those networking opportunities available for you within those fields that you're going into. So really being able to pick your professor's brain, take advantage of those networking opportunities is going to be crucial for your next step after you graduate. Real world experience. So we have state-of-the-art academic facilities. A few examples that I could give you. Well, our automotive program. So we have a great facility up there. If you want to take a look at it, we have a great YouTube page where you can take a virtual tour. We have about 8 lifts. You're working on cars your very first week. I mentioned the equine facility. We have an aquaculture program where you're working with fisheries. We have seahorses, sea urchins. We have all sorts of fun stuff. And then within our nursing program as well, we have a partnership with Community Health, which is a hospital out in Hamilton, where you could pop right over and do your clinical hours there as well. Career-focused extracurricular activities. We have over more than 40 clubs and organizations. Most of those align with one of our major degree programs as well. So make sure to take advantage of that. And then we also have the Mustang Network, which is an opportunity for you to log online and actually connect with Morrisville alums all over the country. Equine students tend to be our most well-traveled, some going out all the way to California, Kentucky, Oregon, all over the place. I'd like to touch on the next era that we have coming up here in Morrisville. So there's a campus revitalization project. That's one of the silver linings of COVID, I guess. With no students on campus last spring, we were able to complete a little bit more of our construction projects. You can see our great new quad up in the upper right-hand corner. And we also have a brand new alternative fuels building, which is a demonstration down there in the lower right-hand corner, where we're actually going to be able to pick up a tractor trailer. It's a 108-foot lab, and I have our students actually work on that right on campus, which will be great. Some new programs are introducing to campus: food and agribusiness, human services, ag science, and game programming. So if you're someone who's a big Fortnite person or video games, then that should be right up your alley. Campus life. So about 3/4 of our students do live on campus. We do have 10 residence halls on campus. I see Jay, he's our Oscar music, so I gotta wrap it up. Double single rooms, apartment suites. And if you do have any other questions, D3 athletics, all that good stuff. Please feel free to shoot me an email. I'll put my details in the chat so you can ask me any further questions. I'll pass it right back to Jay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. We're going to move right along to our third presenter here, Fulton-Montgomery Community College. You are up next.
All right. Hey, everybody. Nice to meet all of you. My name is Dan Fogarty. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Fulton-Montgomery Community College, which is located just about 30 minutes west of Boston Spa, about 40 minutes west of Albany, and only about 20 minutes from Schenectady. So I know a lot of you are local capital region, being in this college fair. So very close, commutable for everyone, unless you're looking at living in our housing as well too. So share my screen here so we can get on in and to the presentation. It's like speed college choosing, right? So the nice thing is we're all great schools here and all part of the SUNY system. So I want to tell you a little bit about our campus. So we are a community college, the only community college on this presentation right now. We offer 36 different academic programs, very small, only about 2,400 students. So that's very small compared to most community colleges. we operate on a rolling admissions, and it's always a free online application. So go to fmcc.edu and fill that out, and then just have your high school transcript sent over to us so that we can get you accepted in. Our nursing, our radiologic technology, and our individual studies, which is our applied learning programs, those have specific requirements. So you'll want to check in with us for that. We've got a lot new going on here on campus. We have one of the best success rates in the capital region as far as community colleges, the best success rate. So we have academic coaching and tutoring to assist all of our students that need that extra help and support while they're with us, because we don't want to just get you in, we want you to succeed while you're here, right? Our new computer networking and cybersecurity program, entertainment tech, will be getting ready to graduate its first class this upcoming May. Think behind the scenes at SPAC or Proctor's. These are the people that make everything happen computer-wise. The FM Flex mode, we have the ability to take classes online, attend classes on campus, or flex between the both. We are growing our certified recovery peer advocate program. So our CASAC, our chemical abuse counseling, it's 100% job placement right now in the capital region. And then our recently renovated science labs as well too. So although we're a very small campus, we have a lot of assistance to help you when you arrive. You know, and every community college kind of has their niche. Our niche would be that one-on-one personalized attention all the way through, from enrolling, through advisement, through your learning environment, all the way through to graduation and the alumni network. Athletics, we can't wait to get them back up and rolling this upcoming year. So we've had some good success in recent years with both our men's and our women's programs. So feel free, if you're interested in that, I'd be happy to connect you with our coaches. Student activities, plenty to offer here on our campus as well, right? So chances are what you've had in high school, you know, we for surely can help you on the college end or start up something new. Our brand new college store on campus is happy to welcome you in for any of your books, apparel, or anything else that you need. And our new dining area as well too, called Union Stations and X Kitchen, will be up and running this fall, as well as Raiders Cove, which is our sports grill and cafe. So think March Madness tournaments with flat screen TVs on the wall, karaoke stage as well too. So a good place for our students to relax. Our tuition is one of the cheapest within the state, and we are just over $5,000 a year, and then you add some fees and books onto it. But that is a very nice cost before you may transfer on within the SUNY system. And we do have a lot of students who receive our financial aid, which is very important as well too. So 9.2 million in financial aid awarded last year, and we give out quite a bit of grants and scholarships. So for any students who may think, you know, college is not affordable, talk to myself. Let's get you in contact with financial aid, and you can realize, especially in this state, that it is very, very affordable. Like I said, we're very one-on-one here. You're going to be in a one-on-one academic advisement meeting for about an hour your first time out, and you're going to be creating a career and education plan with them. And that's going to be followed on a constant basis throughout your time here. So whether you need to be added into some of our grant programs that we have, like TRIO or Quest or C-STEP, or you want to come into just our regular tutoring, you're welcome to do that. So the degrees we offer are our certificates, Associate of Arts, Associates of Science, Associates of Applied Science, and Individual Studies degrees. So chances are we have the degree you want, or we have a track for you to follow and then move on to some of the great SUNY schools. We do have agreements with all the ones that are listed here. Not really on this slide. I mean, we do have agreements with all the ones that are in this chat as well too, but we do have plenty of agreements, some new dual admissions agreements that we have as well too. So one of the myths about SUNY schools is it's very transfer wise. Let me stop sharing my screen here. So sometimes it can be tough to transfer and move on. Not the case anymore. It's very easy to transfer. I'm a product of transferring on for my bachelor's and master's afterwards. So any help, any assistance that you need, you know, we're always happy to point you in the right direction. But again, look forward to answering any questions you guys have for the rest of this and afterwards.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dan. We are halfway through our college fairs here today, so we are going to move right along. And just as a reminder, you do have a Q&A button. If any questions are coming up for any of our schools, feel free to ask those along the way. Farmingdale State College, come on up.
Hello, my name is Raymond Weber. I'm an admissions representative with Farmingdale State College. Those that don't know, FSC is SUNY's largest applied science and technology college. So we have about 10,000 students on campus. Don't let that number scare you. Your average class size is going to be about 25 students, so it's probably similar to what you experienced thus far. Our largest lecture hall doesn't allow for more than 50 to 60 students at a time. So you're not going to be thrown into one of those classes that has 400, 500, 600 students. Our students really get that individualized focus, and they're able to make those connections with their professors, so that way they can serve as references. They have a lot of connections with the real world. A lot of our students rave about their relationships with professors on campus. We were actually the very first SUNY founded on Long Island. We were founded all the way back in 1912 at the New York State School of Agriculture. That's back when Farmingdale used to be mostly farmland. You will find that that is not the case anymore. We are right on the brink of Suffolk and Nassau County. We're only about an hour out from the city. So campus itself, very traditional looking, very peaceful. You have about 380 acres, so it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to walk from one side of campus to the next. And then right outside of campus, you have the hustle and bustle of Long Island. So you have malls and restaurants and shops. There is a little place called Adventureland, which is Long Island's theme amusement park. So there are a lot of things to do on and off campus. I briefly want to go through 4 of our schools on campus, starting with our School of Arts and Sciences. Just want to breeze by a few of our popular programs, including applied psychology. Just know this isn't your broad-based psychology program that a lot of other schools offer. This is going to be a little bit more competitive. It has a focus in organizational psychology. So how are we using psychology to better help businesses function? Our bioscience program, a lot of students are going into that program. They want to go on to do research or from some form of med school. Now, is this your only option if you want to go on to med school? Absolutely not. You could also do nutrition science. You could also do health promotion and wellness. There is not just one path for everyone. You're all going into that field for different reasons. So you're going to have your own path. Criminal justice, this is becoming increasingly popular. So we just added a new program called Police, Courts, and Corrections. This is more of a broad-based program. So this is for that student that wants to maybe be a police officer or go into social work or law. A lot of students are interested in policy. That field is going toward evidence-based solutions. So we decided to implement this program as of fall 2020. And then we have another program in criminal justice called Law Enforcement Technology that focuses on forensics and body cameras and sensors. So a lot of students who have interest in forensics are going toward that because technology is becoming increasingly important in that field. Liberal arts and sciences, that's a great program for any student to start out in. That is our least competitive program at FSC, only requires an 80. You can maybe just want to earn your associate's degree. That's fine. You can do that and get your liberal arts degree. You can start out in this program and then switch into another program. So maybe you don't have the GPA for applied psychology. You could start out in liberal arts and sciences and then switch over once you prove yourself academically. Moving on to our School of Business, very popular at FSC. Business management is actually our most popular program, believe it or not. And that's just because there are so many different focuses and you can do so many different things with that major. So you can focus in accounting or marketing or management, sport management. Internships are super, super important in our School of Business with all of our programs. A lot of connections. We have connections with the Long Island Ducks and the Barclay Center for my sports students. So we really pride ourselves in getting students out there in the real world to get that hands-on experience, because that's what makes you competitive once you're applying for jobs. A lot of our computer programs are housed in our School of Business. We also have a program called Computer Engineering Technology over in our School of Engineering Technology, and that focuses on the hardware aspect of it. You could always start out in one and then switch to another. It's really up to you. You're gonna be working with an advisor to make sure that you're not wasting any time. Let's move on to our School of Engineering Technology. So we are one of the few schools that has a professional pilot program. So maybe you want to fly planes. You can do that. That is rather competitive, requires at least a 90, and you need a few other courses to be at least in progress. Aviation administration, that's for the student that wants to work in the field of aviation, but doesn't necessarily want to fly. A lot of students get caught up in titles. You'll see a lot of our programs are called engineering technology programs instead of just engineering. Please don't get stuck on labels, y'all. Engineering technology can be interchangeable with engineering. They're hiring engineering technicians for engineering positions, but the difference, an engineer innovates while an engineering technician, they innovate, but they focus on implementation. So how are we taking these innovative products and implementing them into real world practice? Also know that all of our engineering technology programs are ABET accredited with the exception of civil engineering. And that's just because it's a brand new program. But once we have a graduate through that program, we can go through the ABET accreditation process, and we're always confident in that. Moving on to our School of Health Sciences, our dental hygiene and nursing programs are ranked one of the best in the state and in the country. Very competitive, those programs. We're also adding new programs to our School of Health Sciences all the time. So applied gerontology, that's for the student that knows that they want to work on a geriatric floor, or they know they want to work in an assisted living center. This field is going to be booming thanks to boomers. This makes you competitive. The fact that you have applied gerontology shows that you have hands-on experience working with that specific population. And again, that makes you competitive as you're applying for jobs. We do have a wide array of student support services. You're going to be advised by someone on campus to make sure that you're taking the right classes at the right time. We have different learning centers to make sure that you're getting a 4.0 every semester. There's tutoring there when you need it. The Nexus Center, they are a huge reason as to why over 90% of our students were employed within 6 months of graduation. They host job fairs, they have internship opportunities. They will help you write your resume and your cover letters. Really, really great work with the Nexus Center. We also have a thriving student life. We have organizations that are not just based in academics, but also the performing arts and religion and social awareness. Our esports team just developed and they've already won a national championship in Super Smash Bros. And then our Greek life is also thriving, heavily based in community service. We are NCAA Division III, 9 men's teams, 9 women's teams. As you're applying, we take either the SUNY application or the common application. And if you guys wanted to, you could reach out directly to me and I will provide you with any requirements for any programs that you're looking into, and I'll answer any questions that you might have. So here's my contact information. Don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks so much, Raymond. We are plugging along with our evening here, and we are going to move along to SUNY Delhi. You are next.
Hello, everybody. Just bear with me while I bring everything up. All right, so my name is Abigail. I'm an admissions counselor here at SUNY Delhi. So in this brief presentation, I'll go over our locations, some fast facts. I'll discuss our academic offerings. I'll go over the admissions process, and then I'll briefly review our student life and athletics. Now, the SUNY Delhi campus consists of our main campus with our academic buildings and our residence hall. We also have a Lower Valley campus with a farm and our automotive section. We also have a college golf course, and on this golf course, we have a restaurant as well. Now, this restaurant, golf course, and farm are all essentially learning laboratories for our students. Now, as you can see in the map provided, we're just under 2 hours from Albany, about 3 hours from New York City, and about 2.5 from Syracuse. We have over 50 academic programs consisting of associate, bachelor, and graduate programs. Regardless of the one you're interested in, we do have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So this really gives students the opportunity to get to know their instructors as well as their peers. We have 6 residence halls on campus, and we have college townhouses as well for upperclassmen. In each of our residence halls, we do have special interest communities that provide academic, cultural, and social programming. In addition to all this, we have several eateries on campus. We have the McDonald Dining Center, which is essentially an all-you-can-eat buffet. We have a Barnes & Noble cafe featuring Starbucks. We have something called Feral Commons, and this is essentially different sections of eateries. We have Italian cuisine, Mexican, and so forth. Then we have something called Treat Street, and this is a place that provides anything sweet that you could possibly imagine. Now to shift more a little bit to the academic side, each of our schools are provided here on the page, and under each school, we have both 2- and 4-year programs. Like I said, regardless of that program, that class size is small. We do value applied learning. So this essentially means that everything you're studying, you're also doing. Popular programs at Delhi consist of nursing, vet science, architecture, culinary, cyber operations management, and so forth. A really good resource we have on our website, if you go to our academic and programs webpage and you select your program of interest, on the right-hand side, you're going to see something called course and program details. And if you click this hyperlink, it provides the entire academic schedule of that major, as well as a description of the class. So it's a really good resource for you to get an idea of what the program entails. And as I mentioned, everything is very hands-on, whether it's labs, clinicals on campus, or internships that are required for each of our programs. Now, depending on your program of interest, there are different academic requirements that I do like to clarify. So for our bachelor programs, which are 4-year programs, we like to see Regents coursework completed, above a 75 GPA, and SAT, ACT scores are optional. We are rolling admissions for those programs, and this excludes our nursing program. And this essentially means we continue reviewing until that program is full. Now, for our 4-year nursing, as well as our 2-year nursing, and our 2-year vet science, it's similar requirements to our bachelor's programs, but there's a bit of an emphasis on math and science coursework. An additional difference is that we do have deadlines for these two programs. Nursing and vet science, we have a December 1st deadline, which is early action, and then we have a February 1st deadline, which is regular decision. Now, although there are minimum requirements for our nursing and our vet science program, meeting the minimum requirements does not necessarily guarantee admission, because in essence, you are competing against your peers. So those SAT, ACT scores are also optional for those programs. Now for our associate programs, which are 2-year programs, and this does not include the nursing or vet science, we're gonna look again at that Regents coursework, your overall GPA, rolling admissions again, so no set deadline, and SAT, ACT scores are optional. Now, if you did take the SAT or ACT, or you plan to, you can still send us your scores. That will help us evaluate you for merit-based scholarships. If you didn't take the SAT or ACT, or you don't plan on it, that's not a problem at all. We will be looking at your junior year coursework in order to evaluate you. Now, for merit-based scholarships, there's nothing students do to apply. We simply review your academics and refer you to the scholarship committee. Now, if you didn't receive a merit-based scholarship from us, that's not a problem at all. Once you commit to us, you pay your deposit, you can apply for a plethora of scholarships through the Delhi College scholarship page. Now, to shift gears more into student life and athletics, we do have a center on campus called the Student Leadership and Engagement Area, and that is specifically dedicated towards providing programming for students on campus. We do have in-person as well as virtual programming right now, given our circumstances. We do have over 60 clubs and organizations. We have a year-round intramural program. In addition to this, we have 16 recognized fraternities and sororities. We have a website called Bronco Connect that is a service that allows students to search any clubs they may be interested in and also sign up for events happening on campus. We are D3 in athletics, so if you are interested in becoming a student athlete and competing at the collegiate level, I do encourage you to go to our athletics page. There's a Recruit Me tab. Select your sport of interest, and you're going to input some information, and that's going to get sent to the coach. So then you can start that relationship with the coach. But if you don't want to be a student athlete, yet you want to participate, there's a year-round intramural program that is available to you. To conclude my session, I do have my contact information here on the page. So if there are some questions that you have or you'd like some supplemental information, please record my information down and I would be happy to help.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abigail. Grateful to have you here. And we are going to close out our presentations anyway with Cortland. Come on up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. So my name is Kim Marmorowski, and I'm an admissions counselor here at SUNY Cortland. Let me go ahead. All right, so some quick information about Cortland is that we're located in central New York. You'll see that we're about 45 minutes from Syracuse, Binghamton, and Ithaca. We have students represented from 34 different states and 47 different countries. We are a medium-sized public institution, so we have about 6,800 students that actually attend SUNY Cortland. In the fall of 2019, we took in about 1,200 first-year students and about 630 transfer students. To give you some more information, our average class size is about 23 to 25 students. That is especially true for our major-specific courses, but we do also offer lecture-styled classrooms, and that might be more specific to the general education courses you'll be taking. Our student-to-faculty ratio is 15:1, so you'll get to know your faculty pretty well. We have 68 different majors here at Cortland, so I like to say something for everyone. Our studio art program, as well as our musical theater program, do require special a specific special application, so that's something to note. All the other applications do fall under our general application process, so just through the Common App or SUNY app. Some of our more specific programs do include early childhood education, physical education, business, community health, psychology, communications, and then also our undeclared options. So if you're not quite sure what you want to do, that's definitely a good option for you. We have different clubs and opportunities for students here at Cortland. So we have nearly 80 different opportunities that range from academic clubs to art clubs to dance. And we also have Greek life. So Greek life does include sororities and fraternities. So again, something for everyone. This specific link at the bottom of this page will actually lead you to our club page. So similar to Delhi, we do have Cortland Connect. So that's something you can check out. You can see different clubs, you can see when they meet, and they also have their specific WebEx links for this specific semester. So really anyone can check those out. Something to know about Cortland is that we do require our first year students to live on campus for 2 full years. We house approximately 3,300 students across 17 different residence halls. And then new transfer students do have to live on campus for 1 full year. If you check out the link at the bottom of this page, it'll actually bring you to all of the different residence halls. Those have specific photos for all of the different rooms, the different buildings. And then 3 specific buildings do have a virtual walkthrough. So if you want to check those out, that would be Alger Hall, Glass Tower Hall, and then also Fitzgerald Hall. So again, if you head to those links, you can see the virtual walkthrough. Something else that we offer here at SUNY Cortland are athletics. So if that's something you're interested in, there is good news. We do offer them in a variety of different competitive levels. So we are a Division III school. We have 25 different varsity sports. If that is something you're interested in, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the coach now. It's never too early to reach out, and you can actually head right to our athletics page and fill out the recruitment information. If you're not interested in playing at the varsity level, we do also offer different sport clubs. So the sport clubs, that's all walk-on tryouts. You try out once you start here. So within the first 1 to 2 weeks of you being on campus, you'd have an opportunity to go to an info session and get more information. Depending on the club will depend on how many spaces they have available, or if they even make cuts from the team. So that's something that's really awesome. And then the last opportunity would be our intramural opportunities. We have 32 different options, and those do range from Friday night tournaments to a semester-long type event. You can either go in as a free agent if you don't know what team you want to be on, or you can go in with your friends and we'll set up all the games for you. At the end of those semester-long events, there will be a tournament and the winners actually get free t-shirts. So it does get pretty competitive. Something I also want to recommend is we do have a really awesome fitness facility. It's located in our Student Life Center. About 2,500 students do use that daily. That specific fitness facility does have an indoor pool. It has a hot tub. It has a rock climbing wall. It has an indoor track. It has basketball courts, a multi-purpose court. So there's a lot going on in there. Something else to know about Cortland is if you are a junior or a sophomore, you definitely want to start thinking about your application process and make sure you have the appropriate coursework. So something specific to Cortland is that we do really look at your high school transcript specific to the classes you take. We look for 4 years of English and social studies, then 3 to 4 years of mathematics, science, and foreign language. Something to know is that we do like to see that coursework at the Regents level or higher. So if you haven't taken that yet, I definitely recommend reaching out to your guidance counselor and making sure that you're in the appropriate coursework. Something else to know is that our middle 50% GPA does range from an 86 to 92 unweighted. Obviously, the higher the better. And if you have a 93 unweighted GPA, you'll be considered for one of our merit scholarships. In addition to that, we were test optional this past year for our application process. We have not quite yet announced what our plan is. So my recommendation is that if you are a junior thinking about taking the SAT or ACT, I definitely would recommend taking it even if you don't need it. It's better to have it than, and not need it than to need it and not have it. Something else that we'll look for when you are in the application process would be the academic patterns in your performance, as well as the rigor of your coursework. So thanks so much for coming up there. You'll see my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll pass it right back to Jay.
Awesome, Kim. Thank you so much. Now, before we close out, I'm going to ask all of my presenters to come on back up because I've got a question for everybody here that I would love your feedback on, and we'll go in the same order in which you presented. But what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? New Paltz, what do you have to say here?
I would just suggest reaching out to the admissions office of every school, especially for SUNY schools. Although we fall under the SUNY umbrella, we are all very different. So I highly recommend just reaching out to your region's admissions counselor or the admissions office to make sure that you are meeting all of the requirements that are necessary for that application.
Perfect. Morrisville?
Yeah, definitely. So what I would recommend is I found this quote during the quarantine time, which is be curious, not judgmental. So do your due diligence. If you're interested in the campus, definitely take the opportunity to speak with an admissions counselor, go visit their campus, and actually get to know them on a personal level. Everyone's going to give you their 2 cents about where you should go or where you shouldn't even consider, and yada, yada, yada. So trust your gut, get to know people, and actually go visit the campus. Obviously, social distance, all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome. What about Fulton-Montgomery? What do you have to say here?
Yeah, I mean, I would say work backwards. Don't always look at the major. Look at the career. We get a lot of students who come back after they already have a degree and want to go in something that's a little more job friendly with the market. So really search careers, find out what you really might like to do, and shadow people and talk with them and get an idea, because it could really save you in the long run of getting an idea of what you might like to actually do before you graduate.
Great. What about Farmingdale State?
I would say to apply for as many scholarships as humanly possible. That's one thing that no one ever told me when I was a senior in high school. There are so many external websites that are useful: unigo.com, fastweb.com, capex.com, dosomething.org. The list goes on, but there's a lot of potential to earn a lot of money that you didn't necessarily know was out there and could be applicable to any of these schools.
Great. Delhi.
Similar to what some other counselors have mentioned, but definitely start establishing relationships with the colleges you're interested in. So reaching out to those counselors so they can start recording their interactions with you, and you're not just a name on an application, but you're somebody who's working towards that end goal. And it definitely will remind the counselors as they're reviewing your application.
All right. And Cortland.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend reaching out to the college, and then also visit it if you can. If that's an opportunity, definitely step foot on campus before you even start the application process, so you'll know if it's the right school for you. And then you also can develop a relationship with a counselor there. And then in addition to that, you'll be on their mailing list. So anytime that information comes out, you'll be one of the first people to get it.
Great. Well, we are going to close out our night, and I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us, whether you are here live, whether you're watching the recording, and thank you to all of our panelists for giving us all this great information about your schools. So just as you close out the window here, there will be a short survey, 4 questions that we at StriveScan would love for you to answer for us and give us any feedback you have. Just so you know, there are more sessions this evening and more sessions happening tomorrow as part of this college fair. And in about 1 week, you'll be able to find this recording at strivescan.com/CASDANY. And that concludes our evening. You all have a great one.